Hey, what's going on, good people? It's Gardner Douglas, your Oyster Ninja, doing something a little different today. No guest today, no guest. I just wanted to come on here real quick and just give you a little recap. Um, I want to say, hey, how you doing? Because it has been a while. Hopefully you enjoyed the last episode with my guest, the Lady Oyster, and we talked all things aquaculture and tourism, and she's doing some great things up in Maine. Hope you really enjoyed that conversation. Honestly, I got one of the best replies, like almost instantly, once I published that, and the person said that it was an awesome conversation and that they just really enjoyed it. And honestly, that comment sparked, not that comment, but a reaction to the Oyster Ninja podcast sparked this conversation because, as you know, I've been kind of away from the podcast and I haven't made it a priority, but I have been making, my family a priority. So the kids, which I haven't really talked about a lot, but the kids are 9 and 5. My son is doing some great things. He just started band. My daughter is doing some great things. She's in dance and loves it. She just got she just made the traveling team, which is awesome. So you can imagine the wheeling and dealing. No shucking and jiving, but definitely wheeling and dealing that goes on with that. And, two young kids. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. And thank you for still listening to the Oyster Ninja podcast. But I got a comment on Instagram, I want to say maybe a month ago. And it was from I think one of the owners of the Chesapeake Inn. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's a Chesapeake Inn. But basically, they were saying that I'm going to pull it up now. They were saying that they were longtime listeners of the podcast and really enjoyed it, and they were kind of missing it. At the same time, they are near. They are near the Oyster Festival that goes down in Urbanna, which is the point of this podcast episode. I'm going to be talking about two oyster festivals that I think you guys should check out no matter where you stay at. It's worth the trip if you're not close, if you're not nearby. And if you are nearby, there should be no excuses why you haven't gone to them. But to go back to that message, they were saying that they had listened to the podcast and they haven't heard me ever talk about the Urbanna Oyster Festival, which they're right. I haven't did a solo episode on it, but I know I have mentioned it for the simple fact that my good friend Isabella, I think, won that competition a couple years in a row, and she was on here talking about it. But yeah, it's the Chesapeake Inn. I'm looking at their Instagram right now, so shout out to them. They are 250 Virginia Street, Urbanna, Virginia, if you need somewhere to stay. It looks great, but they were super kind. And again, just with the feedback, because I'm not gonna go into all they wrote, but I am gonna go into the response that I gave. I said, this is the best message I've gotten in a long time. I put a lot of energy in the podcast, and lately I haven't had the energy to do it. This was the extra push I needed to get back in the swing of things. I really appreciate that. So again, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Looks like Matt Gobush. But again, so that leads us to today's episode. Not sponsored or anything. But I am going to be talking about two oyster festivals that I think you should attend. And if you've listened to the podcast, I'm sure you know which ones I'm talking about. before I get into those, I would like to say I just did a awesome oyster festival this past weekend in Westminster, Maryland. It was the Westminster Oyster Stroll. I will be going next year if everything goes as planned. You know what? I really enjoyed it. Not because, not because as soon as I got there, I found my spot and got set up really quick. Not because it was a lot of oyster lovers there. Not because everybody showed me love. No, I enjoyed it because I got there and I smoked a cigar first thing in the morning. And I just strolled the grounds, and it was a great freaking time. Like, I haven't been to a festival like that in a long time. They closed down the streets on both ends, and it was a ton of different oyster companies. My guy Dan Worrell was there with Fallen Pine. I saw Madhouse Oyster. I saw Sapidus Oyster. A bunch of oyster companies were there, and it was a good daggone time. But yeah, that was a really fun event. That was my first year doing it. And it was a good time. There was a bunch of wines you could drink or try. Wines you could drink, try, and buy. Same thing with spirits. So I would say if you're ever up in Westminster, second Saturday, or actually plan for it, second Saturday in October. Check it out, and hopefully I'll be there next year also. If not, I still would support it because it was such a great event. And that was also for a good cause. I think the proceeds go to CCA, but yeah, Coastal Conservation Association, and they've actually been on the podcast before, and we talked reef balls. Hopefully that wasn't one of the episodes that I lost. But if it's not, I'm gonna get them back on. If it's, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm sure. If not, just Google CCA and reef balls, and you'll see some awesome things. Of course, the reef balls are like those artificial houses for oysters. You know, it's a great foundation for baby oysters to stick to and to start those oyster reefs. And CCA is doing some great things anyway, because like they go into schools and teach kids about aquaculture and oysters and the importance of oyster reefs and doing those things. And they also help build, get the kids in help building and oyster restoration. So let's get into the two oyster festivals that we are here to talk about, which is one of my favorites. This is what really got me my claim to fame, was the St. Mary's Oyster Festival. And of course that goes down in Leonardtown, Maryland. And that's actually, I guess I better drop this episode soon, because that's actually happening this weekend. October 19th and 20th. So it's the 58th annual Oyster Festival happening October 19th and 20th, Leonardtown, Maryland. That's down in California, Maryland. And wow, if you've never been to this Oyster Festival, this is the National Oyster Festival. So the winners, as far as the oyster shucking competition, which, is what I'm looking forward to, besides all the good food and seeing those familiar faces, the winner of the National Oyster Shucking Competition goes to the international competition, which is in Ireland. Now, Honor Allen just got back from Ireland, and he did really good in the competition. Now, one thing you should know about Ireland is they don't call it oyster shucking; they call it oyster opening. And I'm just looking, Honor Allen Oyster Opening 2024. Actually, Honor is going to come on the competition. I mean, on the podcast and talk about that competition. But one thing to know, yeah, again, they just had the competition in Ireland, and I think Ireland got like third or fourth in the world. Now imagine that being the third or fourth best oyster shucker in the world. Awesome. But yeah, back to the Maryland festival. This festival is so great. Um, for me, for an oyster shucker, it is a reunion of oyster shuckers and familiar faces. And honestly, a lot of the same people go every year. So it's not only a reunion for the oyster shuckers, but it's a reunion for just, seeing people that you see every year. Um, this is the 58th annual Oyster Festival. And 58 years, they got to be doing something right, right? So at the Oyster Festival, you can taste oysters. Of course, like I said, there's going to be a shucking competition. Honor Allen won last year. Let's see here. Honor Allen won last year. But there are a lot of great oyster shuckers. It's also kid friendly and dog friendly. So if you want to bring your dogs, that's cool. If you want to bring kids, that's fine. They'll really enjoy it. Of course, it's this guy that like walks down the strip. Hopefully he still is there, but he's been there like the last few years. But he has like this little pet monkey, and you can take a picture with the monkey, and you give him a little dollar and the monkey will take it. They also have a cooking competition, so you can I'm pretty sure it's too late to submit now, but if you wanted to jump in a cooking competition, if shucking isn't your thing, you can cook. You can come up with an oyster dish and put it on the put it on the put it in the competition. Believe it or not, they had a 12-year-old guy, and I want to say he was on one of those Gordon Ramsay cooking shows. But anyway, John Davis. It says the headline says John Davis sweeps the 2023 U.S. National Oyster Cook-Off Contest with the best overall recipe. First place in the Oyster Appetizer category, Best Presentation Award, and the People's Choice Award for 2023. Come on now. Now this is a 12-year-old. Don't get me wrong, his food was good. I did try it. So they weren't just giving it to him just to give it to him. And this is, believe it or not, the oyster shucking competition and the cooking competition, they're very like competitive. So it's no games being played. So nobody's just gonna give you a easy win. Now, along with the shucking competition, the cooking competition, they have a band there that's playing music. And again, they have different food trucks and things where you can get food, alcoholic beverages. They have this little donut machine, not donut machine, but a donut cart where they make super fresh donuts that are so delicious. They got this little vendor that they make hand spun pens right there. Like ink pens, that you write with. And my kids actually, made their own pens. And then of course you can buy them, they paint them and give you everything you need, the ink and everything. But it's a super fun event. I think it's only $5 to enter. And you won't regret it. You won't regret it at all. And of course that's held by the Rotary Club in Leonardtown, Maryland. That's the Rotary Club of Lexington Park. So that's a great oyster festival. Now this next oyster festival, again, I've never been to it, but I've always heard great things about it. This next oyster festival is none other than, am I stalling? Maybe. Maybe I'm stalling. Next oyster festival is Urbanna Oyster Festival. It's the 67th annual Urbanna Oyster Festival, and that's held November 1st and 2nd. Now, for those of you who don't know where Urbanna is in like Northern Neck. It's near the Rappahannock River. I want to say Rappahannock Oysters is also there. I'm just gonna read this off to you real quick. It says, experience the Urbanna Oyster Festival, Virginia's official celebration of oysters and one of the world's oldest festivals that's dedicated to these prized shellfish. Held annually in Urbanna on the first consecutive Friday and Saturday of November, this event draws over 50,000 visitors from across Virginia and beyond, transforming the town of the 500 residents into a bustling hub of excitement. Can you remember? Imagine that 500 residents to 50,000 visitors. They're coming for a reason. As a pay-as-you-go festival, entry is free, but certain areas like VIP experiences, parking, and the wine section may require a fee. Whether you're there for the oysters, live music, parades, or simply soaking in the festive atmosphere, all are invited to join the fun at the Urbanna Oyster Festival. That's a really greeting paragraph. And again, the Urbanna does have a oyster shucking competition. I believe this is where Miss oh man, what's her name? Dang, she just lost her son. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Miss Deborah Pratt. Yeah, she just lost her son this year. He was a great guy, great oyster shucker, fellow oyster shucker. You know, we competed years and years against each other. But yeah, he died this year. But Miss Deborah Pratt was well known for the Urbanna Oyster Festival because she was always winning it every single year. It was either her or her sister. And they just went back and forth, winning that. And like I said, now the last few years, I believe Isabella Macbeth from South Carolina has been winning it. Looks like their VIP tickets are sold out for Friday and Saturday. The VIP tickets were $125 a piece, which isn't bad. I'm not sure what that includes, but I'm sure it's a good experience. Let's look it up real quick. VIP. Oh, it won't even let me look to see what it was included. Well, I'm sure it was a good time. But yeah, it's free to go. You pay as you go. And I guess that's what's important. Looks like they have a lot of bands playing on Friday and Saturday. We got Sweet Justice, which is Southern rock. Robert Keys, which is a multifaceted solo fingerstyle guitarist. And Morgan Stewart, which is R&B and soul. That's cool. That's on Friday night. And then on Saturday, they have, let's see here, Tom Euler, which is blues, Chris and Jane, Americana, Slow Burn Duo, acoustic guitar, and then Robert Keys, again, closing up on Saturday. So, again, I haven't been to this event, but I've heard all great things. It looks like parking for the day is $20 per day. That's Friday and Saturday, so it's $20 each. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and get to this. I can't make any promises, but I want to. I really do, because I've never did it, and I think it would be fun to compete in this competition. I'm not really competing at many competitions for the simple fact of I'm just not as fast as I used to, and it's fun and all, but you want to win, and I don't, I take it very serious. So I'm not just gonna get up on the stage and try to wing it. And not only that, I'm not gonna get on the stage or put myself in a predicament where I'm gonna hurt myself or anything like that. I've been having some shoulder issues, so I'm not sure what's really going on with that. But yeah, here we are. So again, this is one of the first time I've done an episode like this. I can't believe that I feel like it kind of went smooth. Let me know what you think. Again, I really, really, really do appreciate input. I really do appreciate that. It keeps me going. If you haven't subscribed or subscribe to the podcast on your listening device, please subscribe. please leave a review of the podcast. It really helps other people to find me. Share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram, follow us on Instagram at Oyster Ninja PC. All that stuff helps. It really does. If you want to donate, if you really enjoy the episodes and you just want to send me a couple dollars, say, hey man, keep up the good work, $5, $1, whatever. You can cash at me at ShuckDaddy, ShuckDaddy. If you want to send another form of payment any other way, just send me a message and I'll definitely make it easy for you. Again, right now I don't have any sponsorship, but I am going to try to get sponsorship again. I just really wanted to get more consistent again before I started reaching out to potential sponsors. So again, if you enjoyed this episode, let me know. If you didn't enjoy it, let me know, because again, I've never done a episode like this before. I can't say it was bad as I thought it was gonna be, but here we are, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I wasn't rambling, and until the next time, peace. Thank y'all.